Hey everybody, welcome to Open the Gates. I'm your host, Matt Burke, and tonight we're going to be having on Professor Murph. He's going to be talking about his book, War Party. So if you guys could give a big horns up to Professor Murph, that'd be fucking excellent.
What's up,
Murph?
man?
How you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome, man. Awesome. How's everything going on the War Party front?
It's going. Issue 6, of course. It keeps getting longer and longer. So we're at over 160 pages at this point. Not issue 6, but if you add all the 6 issues together, I'm at over 160 pages of art and story.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's because issue 6 is going to be 48 pages, and that's why it's taken so long. So, I've been slowly just rolling out the issues because originally, it was going to be a 10-issue series, and I just kept squashing it until it got down to 8 and then 6, and I tried to get it to where I could offer it for $25, and of course, that's where we ended up. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going great. Everybody seems to be loving the story. Every time I roll out another issue, I get more and more feedback from people, and they're just really enjoying it, and it just keeps building. So I'm excited about where this is going.
I like your campaign because for me, it was like a living organism, man, that was just alive all the time, and you kept injecting new things into the campaign. I'd never seen anybody do that before.
It's alive.
Yeah, it's like
sometimes I'm like, why have I done this to myself? I mean, you realize we're coming up on 3. Well, it is. It's been 3 years since I launched because I launched in October of 2020. It is now November of 2023. I had no idea it was gonna, number one, obviously take this long, but also just grow to what it's grown into.
Right.
I mean, even things like the war diary. This wasn't originally part of the campaign.
Exactly. That's
and
beautiful, man.
It's all been added, and then of course the handbook. So it just kept going and going and going and going.
Oh yeah, man.
And that's why it's hit the numbers. It's hit is because I keep building on what I've already created, and I'm almost treating it as a continuous campaign. And in hindsight, if I would have known it would have taken this long and multiple shipments, I would have just said in the beginning, look, this is like a subscription. So when you back this, you're going to be getting, because I think some people thought they were going to get all 6 at once, and that was never the case. I was always going to ship like the first 3 and then try to ship the last 3 together. But I was like, people are going to be waiting so long for me to finish issue 6. I would rather just roll out 4 and then roll out 5 and so on and so forth. But,
I think that, like, I don't know, man. I think it's pretty fucking awesome, like that, the way it is actually. I mean, obviously it's your baby, but I like seeing that just how there's just new stuff coming out, and there's new books coming. Because I read the first 3 and I got 4 and 5, but I'm waiting. I'm like, like part of me wants to read 4 and 5, but then I kind of want to get 6. But now you're telling me 6 is, that
it's
big. That's a massive fucking.
Might
book,
as well
dude.
read 4 and 5. Because it's
fucking awesome. And the art, man, you could tell that, like, you're putting your a lot of love and blood, sweat, and tears into it. It's not like a regular comic book that you're picking up at a store. And just the stuff that you're putting out, with the diary and the handbook, and like just the stuff that goes along with the bestiary that explains all of the. Well, I guess we could get into it
sure.
a little bit on the campaign. I just want to say what up to Sarcastic Agnostic. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. We got Keith in Comics. What's up, Keith? Thanks for coming around the mountain. Yeah, man. I was wondering too, man. Like, what was your main inspiration for War Party?
2 movies: Last of the Mohicans and The Howling.
The Howling, huh?
Yeah, I mean that's it. I've always, when The Howling and American Werewolf London came out, and Thriller. They all came out about the same time, like 81, 82. And I was only about 6 or 7 years old. And I remember seeing the making of those movies, like how Rick Baker and Rob Bottin did the effects in those movies. And, I was fascinated by the transformation, the whole werewolf thing. Most boys love werewolves anyways. They love monsters and things. And, of course, the Incredible Hulk series was popular then. And, every episode, the whole time you're just waiting for, David Banner Bruce Banner to get thrown into a lime pit or like a gravel pit and in the eyes, and you're like, yes, come on, So I don't know. I guess it's the excitement of that as a kid, seeing somebody change into something that's stronger and bigger than you are, so that you can fight the bad guys. And then I remember seeing Last of the Mohicans in the movie theater. I've always been into history, and I was just blown away by the accuracy of the movie, how visceral that movie is, the music, the I don't know if you've seen that film, but just
I got the DVD.
Daniel Day-Lewis. It's just such a great movie. Gosh, that's a good movie.
That one and Bill the Butcher, like those are my two favorites.
Oh, yeah, he's good in that one too. And I don't know, to me, I was just, I don't know when it just came to me. I was just thinking one day, I was like, what if you took, the French and Indian War, but you somehow put werewolves in it or shapeshifters? Like, how could that work? And I started researching about, tribal traditions, beliefs of skinwalkers putting on the suits of animals and how they believe they would turn into these things. And I thought, well, let's just do it for real. I mean, instead of just, why not the suit merge with your body, kind of like, Venom or the symbiote, and then turn you into that totem beast. And it kind of all just, spring from there,
I love the way you, like I said it earlier, but the way that you broke it down, like in one of the side books that you could get from the campaign, where you show the brain and how the pelt goes into the, the anatomy of the human body, and it takes over. And it just really, I don't know. I saw that. Wow, this is fucking
There was
bad.
a movie. There was a VHS cover also in the '80s, and I never actually saw the movie, but I always was fascinated by the poster. It was called The Company of Wolves.
Oh yeah, that movie's awesome.
It had a guy's mouth open.
Yeah,
and the wolf was coming out of his throat.
Out of the mouth.
Yeah, and I thought, wow, that's a cool transformation. I've never seen that. So I guess just sometimes a different way of going about it.
Mm-hmm.
Keith says, "Don't hold against me. I haven't read War Party. I'm waiting to get." Oh my gosh, Keith, you've been waiting that long. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh yeah, dude. I would get in there and just back all the stuff he has, dude.
Here's the thing, though, man.
All the books.
Here's the thing. You can read it. You don't have to wait. And here's why. Because I do a recap at the beginning of every issue.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and read them. Look at it like this. It's like watching a season of a TV show, right?
Yep.
The season ends. There's a little bit of a cliffhanger. You got to wait till next season. Issue 6 is next season. Just look at it like that. It's a 48-pager. But, I mean, you can do whatever you want. I mean, obviously, if you want to wait, you can wait. But I just, I don't think it's necessary, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I would get them all right now, man. And, like, it's fun, too. Like, you're actually, like, I'm glad I got more War Party coming is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I got a couple more issues I'm going to read. And, but I don't know. It's I like the suspense. I like, it's just a fun thing to do.
Thanks for backing, and I'm glad you're loving it. I mean, you're not the only one. I mean, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm hearing. I wish I would like to get more feedback, to be honest. And I think I can speak for most creators, especially in the independent world.
Right.
We don't get a lot of feedback. I mean, to be honest, people are either afraid or just don't have the time, or the unboxings or the reviews don't get a lot of views, so it doesn't really grow their channel, so they're not really motivated to do it. And honestly, it's like you're creating and you're kind of waiting. Well, like, do people like this, or are they into this? And when you don't get anything back, sometimes, and I've noticed it's been the last year, it's been really quiet. A year or two ago, I mean, there were unboxings everywhere. There were reviews. People were talking about books, and they were opening them and spreading the word. And I feel like now it's like just
the desert
silence.
Radio
and I'm
silence.
Are people reading them? What's going on? So it's refreshing to hear that it's working and that you're into it. And we need that as creators. I mean, you know this with being a creator with Butch Cleaver and everything.
Yeah.
You want that feedback. To hear back from your backers about.
Oh, for sure. Like when I get mine, and usually if you get like 3 things, and some people are saying like, hey, this might be something you might want to think about changing or something to look into. Usually when I hear it like 3 times, like, all right, I'm probably going to change it. Like 99.9%. Like, I'm like, dope. Now, and I'm lucky to get that. You know what I mean? Like and if someone doesn't like your book, like, I'm lucky. I almost like that even more, because then they have passion behind it and they took the time out of their day to put the hate into it and the fuel into it. And I'm like, they might have something there. And thank you.
Well, and what's been cool about this is because I've created the books as I fulfilled the books.
Yeah.
I've actually gotten some feedback from readers that I've been able to incorporate into the story as I'm writing further issues. So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, because now instead of rolling out a graphic novel and then they go, I liked it, but I wish this character was more developed, or I wish you had spent more time on this, or I wish it had more action, or whatever they're looking for. But when you're doing issues, you can hear that and go, well, I still got 2 issues left. So I got a chance to give them what they want before I'm done. So, I mean, it worked.
I like with your story too. Just the way that the world is set up, the tone, like it puts you right in there. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't leave any gloves on either, too, guys. When you're reading War Party, you know it's pretty historically accurate, and it really tugs you into the world, man. That's all I can say about that without spoiling too much. I did a little review on the first 3 issues, and I am going to do more. I got to start doing more reviews too. I do them on this channel, but I just talk about stuff that I'm real passionate about when I read it. So
yeah,
War Party is one of them.
I mean, we appreciate it as creators appreciate. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't all have to be positive. You don't have to oh, it's the greatest thing ever. We just want to hear.
Right.
It would be like getting on stage and doing a show, because I act and sing, and I've been doing it since I was a kid. But it'd be like getting on stage and doing a show, and there's nobody in the, or like you can't hear the audience, like you can't hear the response.
You're in front of a mirror.
You don't hear the applause. There's nothing. Yeah, and it's lonely for a creator creatively to not hear back from the readers, because you just don't know what are they getting out of this. It's a strange thing, but especially creating comics, because it's such an isolated medium when you're creating it, and then you roll it out. And then someone might read it and go, "That was great! I can't wait for the next issue." But if they don't tell you that,
right,
you have no idea. So
yeah, and it's good in your head, but I mean, did they feel it like I did, or did they not, or kind of?
Right. Did I convey what I was trying to get across? And the weirdest thing about this, you were asking about, like, how did this start, like how the story. This thing, what's so bizarre about the Diane's War Diary? This thing shouldn't even really exist. And what I mean by that is, when I originally created War Party, she was not the main character of my IP. She was just going to be a supporting character that provided the means for the transformation. Right. And the main characters were going to be the brothers and the party itself trying to save the little girl. And they are the main characters, but in the grand scheme of things, this is Diane's story. All of the War Party series that follow are going to be her story around whatever, like the additional characters' problems are. So in other words, like the next series, it goes into the 1970s. And that's her.
Like Studio 54, huh?
And this is during the Son of Sam, the blackout in New York, when they haven't caught Berkowitz yet, and people were New York went dark for 48 hours. The power grid fell down, so and it was like blackout, complete blackout. So it's actually called War Party Blackout. So we're talking 200 years later.
I love that, man.
And she has to form another war party to stop this cult that's sort of risen up, that's using the killings and the murders throughout the city to create an era of fear and usher in like occultic power, basically. Hey, Hex Allen, what's up, man? So yeah, my point is, though, you were talking about how the campaign is evolved. This is part of the evolution. The fact that she became the main character, that was not my original intent. So it just worked out.
People responded to it, man, and
well, I knew when the dolls sold out, I was like, or the action figure, excuse me, not dolls. The action figures sold out at $275 a pop. I was like, okay, there's something to this character. Like, people really like her. And it just started to occur to me that, she's the heart of the story. And it's why I wanted to do this, because I thought we really need to get into her head and understand how she thinks and who she is, and all, because I think you don't have to have this for the series to work, but I don't know if you've read it yet, but in my opinion, this takes it a whole nother level as far as understanding who she is and the world she lives in and everything.
That's fucking awesome, man. I'm gonna have to pick that up. I don't have that one yet.
I thought I shipped it to you, actually.
Oh no,
You should. Oh, I haven't. Okay. I thought I did.
No, I gotta get it. You're doing the werewolf toy too, right? Or you're doing
yeah. I can go get him. He's over on the table over there. This one too, issue 0. gets into her backstory.
See, and I don't have that either. I need to get that.
This
I gotta
goes
get both of
into. I live in Florida, and of course, we all know about the Fountain of Youth down here. You know,
Oh, yeah.
St. Augustine, where Ponce de Leon landed and supposedly was looking for the
Just
fountain.
learning about that right now with my daughter.
Yeah.
I'm teaching her history.
Well, this gets into that because this takes place in the
okay.
1500s, and it also explores the occultic side. This is Ruha, it's a demon. And this is the
Beautiful
Baphomet, the
okay.
basically the goat totem. And
okay.
these are my two main villains throughout history. They don't appear in this series, but they do appear in this issue.
I think I might know who they are.
Yeah, they're the ones that Diane gets her power from, but they basically have been sacrificing their children to this demon to get the shape-shifting powers, but they share the same totem. They share the goat.
The goat.
So, but and if you know anything about Baphomet, Baphomet is male and female.
Yeah.
It's a transgender demon, and it's the one with the hand up and the hand down, the as above, so below demon.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, there we go.
Yeah, right.
Husband and wife merge with the same totem, and they become one beast.
Okay.
But it's a demonic beast.
Right.
So this is a whole nother level behind the lore.
That's fucking sick, dude. That's metal as fuck. I mean, the whole series metal as fuck. But I mean, yeah, I have a feeling too who those two might be, but I'm not gonna say it. I love your designs too of the wolves. And like I did definitely see some howling in there. You know what I mean?
Totally,
you got the fucking the demon.
Botine.
Oh yeah, Botine.
The pointed ears. Yeah.
The demon. I call those the demon. You know. Like that's that movie, and then the remake with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio. Those are my two favorite werewolf movies. I love.
Oh yeah, that was Rick Baker, the Wolfman. Yeah, and they did a combination of practical effects transformation with a little bit of CG, but they didn't overdo the CG. They relied mostly on. That's why it looks so good because most of it's on camera.
Action packed. The fight at the end it's gothic. It's filmed gothic. The score.
If we ever made this into a TV show or a movie, I would insist on practical on-screen transformations. I would go back to the old school way of doing
I'm gonna hold
things.
You to that.
Yeah, I would. I mean, obviously, you'll use CG to some degree, but I'm so tired of this CG garbage that looks like video games. Well,
now they're just real. CGIing the trend. Like I saw the Morbius trailer and his face was CG.
Yeah,
like, why the fuck would you put that rubber nose on him, dude? Like why is he CG?
It doesn't look good.
Turn me off a lot.
It doesn't work. You can have the best CG animation, and you can still tell it's not on front. It's not in the camera. You can tell.
Well, for me, I think it comes down to a primordial thing. You know what I mean? Like we know when something physically has mass to it. We have no control over that. We just know. You know what I mean?
I'm an animator because I teach animation. That's why I go by Professor Murph, because I'm a professor of animation at the Florida School of the Arts. But in animation, you can make things move better than they move in real life. In other words, more exaggerated. But that's the problem, is when you're trying to simulate reality, what ends up happening is the animators are able to make it look more animated and energetic than it really would look in real life, and you can tell it's not real, and that's the problem with it. Whereas real on-screen effects, you're limited by actual physics, you're limited by the materials and all, and it looks more real. It just looks better.
The mass and the volume. I love The Howling, man. And that movie, just like the whole setup, like the way the town, and oh man, if you guys haven't seen The Howling, we always talk about that on the show. We always will. And so I was wondering, man, for I know who you are, but like for some people that don't know who you are, maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
There's a lot to know about you.
Well, I mean, I published my first comic book in 1992, and it actually got distributed through Diamond. It was self-published. I submitted it to Diamond, and it was in the same catalog that launched Image. So the same time I literally came into the heyday, and it was a Civil War series. Back then it was a black and white book, self-published, historical, no monsters or anything. It was in the same catalog that had Jim Lee's Wildcats on the cover, February '92. And I mean, I became like a local hero in my town. I mean, I was like, there were lines out the door at my local comic book shop. I was doing signings. I was signing comic books at 18 years old. It was crazy. I felt like a
It's
rock
crazy.
star. But that was also the peak of the collector market when anything with a number 1 on it would sell. So I did that for a few years. And then I stopped doing that. I moved to New York. I wrote 2 musicals, 2 off-Broadway musicals. One was a Civil War show. Another one was called Fallen Angels, a rock show about Lucifer. They both got some off-Broadway productions, but neither one ever went to Broadway, which obviously was our goal. So then I left the music theater stuff and got back into comics again. And I did, it's up there, but it's a graphic novel called Claiborne. There's a 200-page Civil War graphic novel about a real general. And that was released with Diamond back in 2008. And then after that, I got my master's degree and started teaching animation. And then in 2013, I started doing a movie called Dogtown, an animated movie about pit bulls trying to escape from an underground dogfighting organization.
Awesome.
So it's like Watership Down meets Animal Farm kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm still working on it 10 years later. I mean, the movie's halfway done, and I'm still raising money and gradually, just keep making more and more. But it's independent, so it takes a long time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I've done a lot of theater. I was in Jesus Christ Superstar several times, played Jesus professionally on stage. My son was on tour with The Bronx Tale. He's a professional actor. He also voices Tabor in Young Jedi Adventures for Disney Plus on Disney Junior. And speaking of rock and roll, I just did Rock of Ages at Equity Theater here in Jacksonville. I played Stacy Jacks, which is the Tom Cruise role in the movie.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
So I'm a rock singer. I've been singing, since I was a kid, which is why I think animation and storytelling, all this stuff comes together. Because when you act, or when you're an actor, not only does it help you be a better animator, because animation is basically acting, it actually helps you write better, because when you're writing dialogue, you hear it in your head the way an actor would deliver the lines. So it helps you write better dialogue and hear the voice, because a lot of writers have a problem with dialogue. They write stuff and it doesn't sound like the way people would talk.
Speak.
Yeah, it's hard.
And then the way they move and say it and deliver it, and that's also plays into the art of the book as well. The pencils and the ink too. It's
all symbiotic. I mean, the theater, the music, the animation, the storytelling, the writing, the drawing. It all rolls together. And I've just always been attracted to, visual art form and I guess underdog stories, because all my stories are either about. Like I wrote a musical about Lucifer, right?
I wrote a song about him.
Yeah, all my Civil War stories are about from a Confederate perspective. So I'm always like with the underdog, the one that's like trying to like fight the man or fight the system.
The big one.
And even in War Party, especially if you read Diane's War Diary, her whole journey is fighting corrupt power that's basically trying to control people. Subvert people, destroy innocence. There's a lot of stories where they're going after kids. Even the story you're reading right now, his daughter is taken to be sold to a French marquis. What do you think he wants with his?
That fucking throws you right in there, And
yeah,
like for me, like that, I'm rooting for him, like through the whole story. Like that's the one. There are a lot of dope characters, but like for me, I gravitated towards him a lot, And when you get him like in third issue, like.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta have a motivation, and to me, like I'm a dad. I can't imagine a greater motivation than trying to save your kid. Like there's just nothing 100%. More, than that. So I think it pulls the readers right in, even readers that don't have children, and are like they can relate that this guy's got to do whatever it takes to get his daughter back, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, like for me, it was like one of the best like comic books I've got from like crowdfunding, and like that part just like grabbed me right by the fucking throat. Keith wanted to know what's inside Diane's War Diary.
Diane's War Diary. I'll just go to a page here and show you. For example, each entry there'll be a full page pinup, and then her diary entry, which is in her first person voice, and it has the year and some illustrations. So here you have 1513, which is when the Spanish landed in Florida, and Diane is, even though she's several hundred years old, she's biologically looks like a 15-year-old girl because her body ages a year for every 50. So 50 years is 1 year of actual physical aging. So, you know, in 100 years, she's only aged biologically like 2 years.
That's crazy.
But like, here's the burning of the White House during the War of 1812. So there she is on a horse by the Potomac. And what it does is it's a diary. I mean, it's her. I wrote it as if she were describing. There she is as a Gibson girl in the 1900s. You know,
eloquent.
Yeah, still got her tattoos. She even talks about how the women all call her exotic and everything because they know she's Native American and she still has all these tattoos on her and everything. And this is a good one. This is the Mothers of Darkness Castle in Belgium.
Ooh, I like that.
This is in 1927. This is kind of an Eyes Wide Shut kind of thing.
Yeah, I see in the back.
She infiltrates this. Mothers of Darkness is a real castle that has a lot of conspiracies around it, where people have disappeared, children have disappeared, and there's a lot of rumors that, you know, it's an occultic, like, power spot kind of
1% type.
Yeah,
jazz.
and this whole time she's battling the forces of evil in our world. I took a lot of conspiracies, like this is Bohemian Grove in Northern California. If you're not familiar with Bohemian Grove, she's hiding in the trees in camo. This is the year 2000.
Awesome. That's like some Rambo shit right there.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove is in Northern California. It's where a bunch of weirdo politicians and world leaders get together and do a mock sacrifice.
Heard of those?
Yeah, Alex Jones snuck in there and got a video of it, and it's probably still on YouTube somewhere, but he snuck in and got a secret video of it, and it's pretty disturbing stuff. And it's all for show, but these are also the people that, like, control the world. You know?
Right.
Like, they make all the policy decisions and stuff, and they're into some really, really weird, bizarre, occultic stuff. So all I've done is kind of taken sort of those conspiracy theory things that people, you know, rabbit hole things, and then said, what if I put the supernatural demon stuff, shapeshifter stuff, good versus evil, Diane sort of fighting these forces of evil throughout time, and wove that into
War Party,
what we know of as sort of like these conspiracy theories, and kind of brought it all together. And she's not trying to save the world. She's just trying to save whoever she can help at that moment. So in this series, she's just trying to help the guy get his daughter back. That's it. And it's like, if I can just help that one person, help that one child, help that one father, mission accomplished. I mean, that's her perspective. She knows she can't save the world from evil. It's not possible. But she can help people one at a time, kind of thing.
That's fucking brilliant. I love that, man. I'm gonna have to pick that up. I love your art, man. It reminds me of a lot of my inspirations too. I was wondering, who were some of your influences artistically, man, like growing up and still? Is there anybody?
Well, this guy right here, my favorite comic, probably the most prolific and the best comic artist in my opinion, Michael Golden, master. He did the first 12 or 15 issues of the Nam for the first year. This is the Vietnam comic that came out in the 80s by Marvel Comics. He also did a lot of G.I. Joe covers. He's outstanding. Storm Shadow. He was great at, like, helicopters and tanks and things. But he always did his research. Like, I was impressed when I read the Nam because all the M16s were, like, perfectly accurate.
Perfectly designed and, like,
I love.
It's just a bitch, dude. Like that, like drawing accurate, you know, just locomotives and guns and mech. Yeah. Like it's so it's so
He's
hard.
Awesome. I always loved Buscema, of course.
Man.
Conan,
man. Like he's my big inspiration for me right now.
And Joe Jusko.
Love the Jusko.
Yeah. And then, of course, Bernie Wrightson.
I was about to say, man, Bernie for sure. Like, I could see him and you, like,
Bernie
in a lot
Wrightson,
of your stuff.
definitely. Frank Frazetta.
And
probably Brian Bolland, who did Killing Joke, and Judge Dredd and all. Those are my favorites. I am a follower of the 70s and 80s artists. I'm not a 90s guy. The 90s influenced me. I loved McFarlane and all that, and I loved all the energy in the 90s. But
Yeah.
my favorite comics were definitely the 70s and 80s, especially the 80s. Like, to me, those are the best.
80s
artists,
was
best art.
awesome, man. Like on movies, like a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people see that influence in my art. There's a little bit of the 90s energy in there, but I definitely feel like it's more 80s inspired. You know, I try to, you can't control that. Like, whatever comes through you as an artist, that's just what you are. And you can try to emulate, but,
It's hard, right? No, I'm the same way, man. And like for me, I'm 90s, and like it's like kind of like what you are, but opposite, you know. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, you know. That's fucking awesome, man.
Thanks.
And as far as like some of your like, you know, literary influences, maybe like some of the writers, do you have any writers that you were inspired by? Like,
Well, I mean,
comics
I used to like Stephen King, obviously, this is funny because when I named the two that I read the most,
yeah,
one of them was a horror writer, Stephen King, and one of them was a historical writer. I don't know if you know who John Jakes is, but he wrote North and South. It was a TV series with Patrick Swayze back in the 80s about the Civil War. But John Jakes wrote a whole slew of historical and romance novels taking place through Revolutionary War, Civil War, all the different sort of up until I think the turn of the century. So yeah, there you go. History and horror.
It's crazy, huh? Like when you,
What's up,
awesome.
Brian?
And
I have Brian in a while.
Oh yeah, man, that's my homie. Me and him are actually going to be working on a book pretty soon, kind of like Solomon Kane a little bit, but not really, kind of like in reverse, called The Puritanian. So that's
I
probably
see Edwin in the chat too. Hey, Edwin.
Yeah, Edwin's going to be on here in a little bit too.
Yeah, I guess history, to me, you don't need to create a fantasy world, because history, if you go far enough back in the past, you're in a fantasy world.
Right.
Ancient Rome is nothing like today. Even the 1920s is nothing like today. So you've already taken someone out of where they are now and put them in somewhere exotic, without really having to do much work other than just do a little bit of research. But it's not like you have to create everything from scratch. You just put it in that time period. And that's what I loved about doing this book. It was so fun to go through all these time periods and draw these pinups of her in these different styles and locations, and and just totally
flesh it out a bit too.
Yeah. So it's fun. But the next one's going to be the Blackout series. I'm going to jump after this. I'm going to jump all the way to the 1970s and do that one next. Then I'm going to jump back
good year.
and do the Wild West one.
Fuck.
And
okay.
Then the Mothers of Darkness one, and then a Civil War one. So if you get
what's Mothers of Darkness? What era is that?
That's the 1920s. That's the one with the chateau and.
You ever think about doing a medieval era or a Dark Ages?
Well, here's the thing. She doesn't really leave the country.
Oh, okay.
And when she was born, of course, Europe was, the Europeans weren't over here. So there would be no way she could, if it was medieval, it'd be in the Americas. It wouldn't be, you see what I mean? So it's not like she's a time traveler where she just jumps around. She just ages very slowly. So what I've done in the handbook is I've already predetermined the next 4, and there's stickers in the back. So like in the back, the art is not even there yet.
That's awesome.
Some of these, because this is the Civil War one here. This is the Wild West one here. This is Blackout in the 70s. This is Mothers of Darkness in the 20s. So it's on the timeline. See, so the series that you're reading right now is right here, the 1750s. 0 takes place in the 1500s when the Spanish land. So this is the timeline going from the 1500s all the way up to the 1970s that the handbook talks about. And what's cool, what I also did, and I did this for myself as well, was to make sure I knew how this stuff worked. I went ahead and put like how the transformation works, what you have to do.
Yeah, I love that.
The procedures and everything. And I did this as much for me as for the reader, because I wanted to make sure I knew when I'm writing it, what are the rules? And I need to adhere to these rules.
You gotta play by those rules.
I don't
gotta
want to
have rules, right?
That. Exactly. Yeah, you gotta make the rules for your world and then stick to it.
Makes it rich too, right?
Yeah, and otherwise then you run into the George Lucas problem where like, or Luke and Leia kiss, and then the next movie they're brother and sister.
Hey,
I'm
oh
like,
yeah,
I guarantee you, they were not supposed to be brother and
right,
sister
right,
in in Empire Strikes Back. It's
right.
just the audience was more interested in the Han and Leia relationship than the Luke and Leia relationship, and they realized, you know what, we got to give Leia to Han. So why don't we make Luke Leia's brother?
Right,
It's
it's
just,
easy, man.
it's there's no way that was planned. Okay,
I gotta know. I gotta know, man. Like, obviously, you're fucking rocking. What's your favorite metal band?
Well, see, my metal is more '80s metal. So,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't consider Aerosmith metal, but I love I've always loved Aerosmith from the '70s, '80s, '90s. But I know they're not really considered metal. God, as far as metal, I mean, I'm going back to like Quiet Riot,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and Motley Crue, and I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I liked the hair band era. Honestly, I loved all those songs. I still do. It's why I like doing Rock of Ages, because a lot of
Yeah.
those. But I
That's
mean,
metal to me. I mean, it's just
yeah,
different, you know.
I like Five Finger Death Punch. I think they rock. Man.
That's
I
pretty
dig
cool.
their stuff. I've never been into the thrash stuff only because I'm a singer. So I like
Right,
stuff that has a melody, like, and
right,
so
right.
I like to listen to stuff that I could actually sing, and the thrash stuff, while it's fun to work out to, if you're a singer, it just doesn't really give you anywhere to go, because I'm not really interested in just screaming in a microphone. I actually want to like hit notes, what I mean?
Right. Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
I grew up just like with my comics. I grew up on the singers from the '70s and the '80s. The truly great male singers like Foreigner or like Steve Perry. These guys that
Journey.
could, yeah, they could sing. I mean, they could really sing. They weren't just I mean, Steven Tyler, even Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant, great. Well, gosh, even Quiet Riot. I mean, DuBrow could sing, man. I mean, he could
Oh yeah.
get up there and scream his vocals out. So that's the stuff I always liked. I like the party music. So but I like all music. I like gospel. I like country. I like pop. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I like music theater, as you know. I mean, I've done a lot of musicals, and Jesus Christ Superstar is one of my favorite shows, and done it like 5 or 6 times, and I love pretty much all music. I used to listen to soundtracks actually in high
I
school.
like soundtracks a
Yeah,
lot. I
like
still
I
listen to
mean,
them now.
I wore
That's
out
my
Last
favorite
of
right
the
here.
Mohicans. Which one? Which one?
Basil Polidorus.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's great.
That's a good one.
The drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But I used to listen to John Williams, James Horner,
That Horner's
Braveheart,
awesome.
Aliens.
Yeah.
I used to love him. Jerry Goldsmith, First Blood.
Oh yeah.
The Rambo music is great. Of course, Howard Shore, Lord of the Rings is an amazing soundtrack. And I would usually listen to that stuff when I was drawing because there's, it wouldn't distract you, but it
Oh
would
yeah.
like inspire you.
Good for
So
writing too, because there's no
yeah.
words like tripping you up too much. Sometimes the melodies can a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Everyone does their own process, but
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I love a good driving metal beat. I just,
oh yeah, yeah,
being a
definitely.
singer, you
No,
could
I
call
mean,
me
because
you could call me metal light. I know those
no,
bands
I
I
mean,
just named are metal light. They're not.
oh, you're doing
It's
like for
not
me, like you're more
Slayer,
into metal and you're more into
right?
metal and heavy metal, like heavy
Yeah,
metal, metal and classic metal. Like there's like so
it
many
ain't.
fucking subgenres,
It's
But
not
there's some
Anthrax or
bands.
Slayer.
Oh yeah, no,
You know.
there's some bands I could show you where you'd be like, oh okay, like but they're
Yeah.
doing they do everything, and you're
That's
like,
why
oh, that's
I liked Five
this
Finger
guy's
Death
dope.
Punch
He
because
does a
they
lot.
did.
He's versatile.
Yeah, they do a good job with that band of heavy guitars and drums and
Yeah,
hard metal, but the songs are melodically catchy. So
right.
like he's singing, he's not just screaming, and I like that. I mean, to me, they're like
Oh
I
yeah.
guess kind of like the male Evanescence, but much
Oh
harder.
yeah, that makes sense.
They kind of remind me of Evanescence, a male version, but like I said, harder. So yeah,
You
it's
should
cool
check
stuff.
out a band you probably like. Do you like fuck sorry I forgot the name of the band, but you should check out Solution 45. They're pretty cool.
Oh
So
yeah, I will.
that
No, I'm
singer
not
is
familiar with
very
them.
singer is by the name of Christian Alvestam. He's
Okay.
very versatile. He does a lot of
Yeah.
power metal and
I used to like the Darkness too. I mean,
yeah, he's good too. And then
yeah, he
there's
can wail, dude. Like
Dragon Force. I'm sure you've heard of Dragon Force.
Yeah,
That
oh
guy's
yeah,
pretty powerful too.
yeah.
But yeah,
Chris Cornell with
Chris Cornell's a badass.
Soundgarden.
And Audio Slave.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I listen to all music too. Just
And I
metal is
used
like
to
my main focus.
one of my favorite movies is The Lost Boys, and
Oh yeah,
when
yeah,
I was young, I wore that soundtrack out, man.
yeah. The movie's
Like I
awesome, dude.
love the music in that movie,
Fucking
dude. Like,
Schumacher is killing it. That one and
so
Falling Down. Everyone
oh
always
yeah,
fucks with them because of the
Falling
Batman
Down's
movies. I'm like,
amazing.
man, Falling Down's in my top. That
Well,
movie has a big influence on me on my next book. The
and
whole
that
like
movie's
Robert
never
Duvall
been
thing.
more relevant than it is now.
Oh yeah, dude.
Everyone's watching
Last
that
Day on the
movie going,
Force.
I get what he's going through.
Right.
I feel it now. I understand.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, I got the War Party campaign pulled up right here, man. I was wondering, maybe we should share it. Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
All right, cool. 1 second. Hell yeah.
Oh, and just so you know, when this, and if you scroll down, you'll see it. I have a stretch goal of 90K. I'm trying to hit 90,000, and if I do, issue 6, and everyone's going to get this. Issue 6 is a gatefold cover that's going to open both from the front and the back. So it's going to open both ways, and you'll see it going down. What I did was
it's down.
There. Yeah, if you keep going, if you keep scrolling down.
Love this art, man.
Thanks.
Love this art.
You're
like the artist that everybody wants to be, like that.
Really?
That's in the horror. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
thanks.
dude. Because you got you kind of have all the that.
I have my flaws, and I know what they are, and we all do. But
awesome.
It's funny. Drawing's one of those things. The more you do it, the better you get. And even if you've been doing it your whole life, if you take a few years off, you will get rusty, and then you'll have to like sort of get better again. It's just a strange thing. It's like an athlete.
You have to do it. It's like an app. Yeah, it's like a muscle. You have to keep working out. It's like you have to go to the art gym every fucking day. You actually do get better.
Or like if a boxer hasn't fought in 3 or 4 years and they get in the ring, like you know what I mean. Like you gotta keep. Yeah, there's the werewolf. Action
I want that werewolf, dude.
I've already sold half of them. There's only 5 left.
I was telling my daughter about your book, and like, yeah, this dude makes fucking his figures. He makes like a few of them, and they just fucking sell out, and they're like extremely collectible. And that's the thing, man. We're in that extremely collectible market now,
right? And that's I kind of started to figure that out. I'm like, this community likes exclusives, and they like things that are handmade. Because all those figures are handmade. I'm literally gluing the hair on the figure by hand and painting his face, each one individually, just me. So awesome. Everyone's a little bit different. But yeah, that's the cover of issue 5 there.
Love it. Love the werebear. Oh man.
Yeah, he finally makes his appearance. There's the cover. You keep going down right there. That's the gatefold down at the bottom. So see the part that has Dione on it in the middle. That's the front of the book where the title's going to be, and then the part to the right is going to fold out, and then the back of the comic is to the left of Dione, and then that is also going to fold out. So it's a full. All the other creatures there are from her tribe. So, I mean, I'm kind of giving something away, but whatever. I mean, sorry. the war party are the creatures to her right there, or to her left, our right. Every other creature on the other side of her, those are all members of her tribe. And as you can see, they're all different creatures. I've got a were-goose. I've got a were-cardinal, an owl, a bobcat, a ram. So whatever your totem is, those of you that haven't read the book, whatever your totem is, your animal, that's the only thing you can change into. So she finds out what your totem is, and then you have to put on a pelt made from the feathers or fur or skin or DNA of that creature. So if your totem's a goose, you're a were-goose, right?
Oh man!
So that's what's cool is like And so I'm taking all these creatures like, okay, how can I make a goose look badass? Okay, how can I make a cardinal look badass?
Right? And it's hard, huh?
Yeah, but he's one of my favorites now. I look at him like, I love the were-goose. And goose are mean, man.
There's some mean motherfuckers. It's funny how like the prettiest animals or the cutest ones are like the most rabid, fucking vicious animals, right? Sometimes, like, oh man, like you go down to Australia, oh my god.
Oh yeah, well that's the problem. I can't put any Australian animals because we're in the Americas, so I have to stick with whatever is indigenous to North America. But there's still plenty of options.
Oh yeah, and what's crazy about your book is too, like, you don't deal with folklore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, what if fucking a Wendigo wandered into there, or what if Sasquatch wandered in there. You know
Well,
what I mean?
it talks about Wendigos in here briefly because a Wendigo, according to tribal tradition, a Wendigo is someone who gave themselves over to the dark arts. So in this world, a Wendigo would be someone that basically it's kind of what they've become.
In the Get, right? From the Get, right?
Yeah, because they've completely given themselves over to, and usually I think you have to resort to cannibalism, I think, in their tradition.
Frozen heart.
But there's some dark stuff in there, but the lore keeps expanding. Now I'm considering doing like a compendium of the demons of this world or the spiritual entities of this world that are also connect to where these powers are coming from. Because Diane's kind of like Ghost Rider in the sense that she got her powers from a dark source, but she's using it for good. You know, kind of like she didn't sell her soul, but she received these powers, and rather than letting these powers consume her and make her into something evil, she's using it for good.
That's fucking awesome, man. Do you ever think like later on down the line you might come out with just like a straight up bestiary book? Because
that's kind of my point is with the demon, or with the, I was thinking, how could I do this? How could I expand this to include,
like every single shapeshifter in
one
book.
I got you. Yeah, oh gosh,
that's what I'm talking.
You're kind of going to get that, right? Like, you're kind of going to get that in issue 6. I mean, it's an all out war, but
like a Bible though, like
right. No, I get you. I get where you're going with it. I mean, I kind of did that in here
a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, and obviously, if you've read issue 5, he finally makes his appearance. He's a rattlesnake, by the way.
That's so dope.
Yeah, he's a were rattlesnake. But so I mean, I do a little bit of that in here. But yeah, I mean, I kind of like rolling out the creatures as a surprise.
That's true though, because it is your book is
right.
bestial in that
series.
Regard, so
everyone's going to have a different totem. Like in New York, one of them's going to be a rat. I mean, you got to have a rat. It's New York.
Oh, right? Dude.
I got to have a rat, and I got to have a pigeon in there.
I don't want to spoil something, but I got something coming in my next book, but that ain't coming out for 5 years.
Oh wow, that long? Huh?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna live to be like 120. Another thing I think you should do, I may be out of line, but your artwork is so fucking awesome. I think later on down the road, maybe like 5 years or something, black and white edition, War Party.
Well, it's funny you mention that because it's not public on the Indiegogo campaign, but anyone who's a backer has a link to a secret add-on that's a secret perk. And what I'm doing is, when I release the trade paperback that has all 6 issues in it, you also have the option of getting a black and white version of that same trade paperback.
Oh,
so
okay.
I am going to release all of these issues in a trade paperback, not only in full color, but also one in black and white. So because I'm the same way. Sometimes I like to look at the line art. Nothing against my colorist. He's great.
No, it's
but the
beautiful.
problem with computer coloring today, it's so heavy and so rich that you lose a lot of what's going on in the line work. You just can't see it.
We had Kelly Jones and Matt Wagner on a couple nights ago, and they're talking about the new Dracula book they're doing, and they were saying like Kelly, his if they don't color him right, you color over his line work, and it gets kind of muggy and smudgy. You know what I mean? It's like, so yeah, and I'm the older I'm getting, I'm becoming more of a black and white stan, and
there's something to it.
Another world.
And, I mean, that's why I loved these, because
I
used to love just reading the regular pulp.
Yes. And automatically, like, your brain just kind of populates color into a story, or what I mean? Like, it just kind of assumes that there's color there. I mean,
sometimes they'll use the the zipatone, what they used to call zipatone, where it's the dot patterns and things. But I'm gonna try to not even do that. I'm trying to leave it just the way it is. The problem is sometimes when you're drawing something and it's for color, you don't you allow the color to be your contrast. So sometimes the image in black and white, things get a little lost. Like the figure may not pop as much against the background until the color is brought in. So
put some zips in there, huh?
Yeah, sometimes you're forced to do that. Like I did that in here because this is in black and white.
Oh, the zips look cool, man. Like a lot of people I see it a lot.
Zero's in black and white. It's the
Oh,
only
okay.
it's the only black and white issue that I released. Now I didn't draw. I only did the art in the last 10 pages
Oh,
of the
that's cool.
story. There's 2 stories in here. There's a 10-page story and a 22-page story. I did the
Nice.
10-page story. The 22-page story was done by Marcio. I believe you pronounce his name Abreu.
Oh, okay.
He's worked for DC and Marvel over the years, but I was so swamped with work I couldn't draw the whole book myself and get it out in a timely manner. So I literally had
cool,
to
man.
just hire him to help me. But that's the only time I did not do the drawing myself. Was that
No,
one?
that's cool though, man. Like you're bringing in some new talent, and it's the art looks fucking dope too. You know what I mean? And it's black and white, so it's in, I don't know, like you're showing a different time era, so then it breaks. You know, like sometimes you might use
Right,
sepia like in
exactly.
a movie or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So
because
it's
we're
just a lot
flashing way back to the 1500s, and I
Yeah.
just thought, what the heck? Why not make it black and white?
Oh,
And
fuck yeah.
she's running around. She's a lot younger and a little more naive, and it's just a different time period. There's a part of me that still wishes I had drawn it, not because he didn't do a great job, but because you just, I would have liked
You
to
want to
have drawn
experience it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's just this. The thing I've learned with this campaign, obviously, is you need to get as much of the book done as possible before
Right.
you launch, or you need to at least understand
Logistics.
how long it's going to take. Like, because I mean, I've been doing this for
Time
years,
logistics.
and it still is taking longer.
And still things pop up, the unforeseen things that you have no control
and
over. You're like,
you forget you have a full-time job. I teach
kids,
I
all
have
kinds
kids,
of stuff.
and a wife, and so it's and you just always assume, I can knock out 2 pages a week. That's reasonable, and that's not that much. And then before you know it, 4 weeks have gone by, and you've gotten 1 page done.
No,
And you're like,
I'm in the same
How
boat.
did this happen?
I got my drawing board right here. I take it with me, and on my lunch break, I'm in my car, like drawing. I'm doing all right. You're doing thumbnails today. All right, you're doing pencils today. All right, you're doing inks. Like, get in there. I got my little planner. Like, get back to work. You're slacking. Like I'm like,
because
whipping myself.
Well, you got to realize about the days when guys were cranking out 6 to 12 issues a year.
The bullpens and stuff.
They were drawing really fast, number one. And if you
And
go
they had
back and look at the art, you can tell. Because it's not that it's bad, but it's not nearly as polished as what people are used to seeing today in comic books. It's not. Most of the stuff, I go back and look at it, and I'm like, the eyes are wonky, and stuff's not.
And they have background artists too. A lot of them did.
Yeah,
they were pulling out artists from like South America and the Philippines.
Right.
They were finishing stuff. So.
And they had inkers, so they were penciling and moving on. When you're inking or penciling, inking, writing, lettering,
everything,
pre-press. I mean, I'm doing all the pre-press work to lay the book out, to get it to the printer. The only thing I'm not doing is the coloring. That's it. And I'm fulfilling shipping.
I will say, dude, your shipping, like when you're very like on it, like you get it, like boom, boom, boom. Like your customer service is like next level. Like, so you guys, you get your book, like you back your book, you're gonna get it pretty quick. So
I've had to make my foreign backers, a lot of them wait, and what I've been doing for the foreign backers, just because it'll break the bank, to ship them more than at least 1 or 2 times, is I've been giving them digital access. So even though I don't offer the comic digitally, my foreign backers get to read it digitally if they want to.
That's cool, man.
That way, at least they can read the book while they're waiting to get the physical copy.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah.
And
no, that's
I mean,
cool,
dude, shipping's gone up like 20%.
Yeah, that's another thing. You know what I mean? Like I was about to say, like you can't foresee these things. You know?
No,
so.
I mean, literally, there are some countries it's $70 to ship a package.
Yeah,
it's insanity.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's nuts.
I wish like a lot of cats too, like that are with us, like in the movement and stuff. Like a lot of them could make comics, and I'm like, damn, I wish a lot of people knew like how like what goes into making a comic. You know, whether it be like perfect or a little piece of shit comic. You know, like the good and the bad in between. Right. It's all hard, dude. Like in the fulfillment, it's all hard.
It
and
is.
Shipping, you know?
And the issue with crowdfunding is there's still this mentality that people are just pre-ordering something, and it's not that simple. We always have to keep reminding people, you're helping us create a business. You're not just helping us pre-order. You're not just ordering books.
No, you're part of it. Yeah.
Right. You're helping us build something. Now that's going to take time. This is why books are late. They're not just late because we're just twiddling our thumbs and not working. They're late because we're having to build a business and market it at the same time and finance it on top of creating a book.
Yeah.
And it's I wish people. It's hard to make people, and I'm not blaming backers for feeling that way. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to get perspective of the creator. People have to understand that you're almost like becoming almost like a de facto investor in somebody. You know, and you've got to, and most people get that. They're patient, they understand, but every once in a while you'll get a backer. They're like, I thought I was getting all 6 issues right away, and da-da-da. I'm like, look, guys, I try to be very clear on my campaign that I'm rolling these out, and I'm spending thousands shipping these things separately just so you can get something in your hands.
Right. No, I hear you.
And I don't regret that. I mean, I'm glad I did it because the backers are rewarding me by coming back and buying more stuff. They're like, you know what? You do a solid for me. You ship me 3 or 4 issues right away. I'll buy more stuff from you. You know, and
like you got me. I'm a customer for life. You know, and a lot of customers.
Thanks, man.
A lot of like people that comic creators are customers too. You know, like, and like a lot of like the industry isn't really doing too well. You know, and like a lot of these crowdfunded books, man, like this is going to be a lot of the the comic book industry probably, before you know it, someday.
Well, I don't know if you're aware, but War Party is in retail shops.
I am. Yeah, man, it's fucking awesome.
I sent it to Diamond. Now I waited till after the backers were at least an issue or 2 ahead. So by the time they got issue 3 and roll on issue 4, issue 1 went out to the stores. Yeah, it's been doing pretty decent. I mean, as far as I don't know what decent is today, to be honest with you, because they don't publish their numbers, so I have no clue what the average book is doing anymore. But
we got to get in as many hands as possible. I mean, for me, that's just like common sense. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
You want everybody to read your work. You know,
they charge. You only get 40% of the cover price.
Yeah, so, they give you like sometimes 25%.
High volume. You're not making money in retail, so then people are like, well, then why are you doing it? Well, the reason I'm doing it is exactly what you said. Yeah. I see it as marketing. In other words,
marketing.
If it pays for itself, and it does, if you bring in enough to at least cover the shipping of the product and soliciting in Diamond's catalog, then that's another 2 to 3, 4 to 5,000 potential readers that will go in this book.
At least see it in fucking Diamond.
See my website.
Yeah.
Go to my website. Go to Amazon, wherever else I've got the books, and order them directly from me. Or keep going to the stores. I don't care. But my point is, it's another reader. It's another customer. And it's someone who does not go to Indiegogo. They're not buying their comic books from this place.
People have their
would have heard about it.
Comfortable like spots, too, where they want to purchase their books. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do to change people where they're comfortable.
I don't understand why more crowdfunders are not trying to get their comic books in comic stores. I don't get it at all.
That was the first thing I did. My first 3 issues were in comic book stores, and then I comprised them into one book, and then made the second book.
Okay.
I did it backwards, and then I made my second graphic novel without putting it in stores.
Right. Well, it's just strange to me because we're already printing these in bulk, right?
Yeah.
The campaign's paying for the production of the book. Why aren't you shipping your excess inventory to Diamond?
Right.
Like, why aren't you doing that? Like, to me, it makes no sense. Because it's not that much to print another 1,000 copies. If you're already doing a run of like 3,000, say.
Yeah, if you're doing
there's not much price difference between 3,000 to 5,000 copies. You could print another 1,000, 2,000 copies and fulfill Diamond in their catalog, and you're only getting half the cover price for it, but it doesn't matter. You're already printing it. You're already paying for it anyways. So to me, I don't get it. And I know there's this mentality, well, we're going straight to the customer, screw the retailers. I'm like, no. As long as it's a brick and mortar store.
These books, too, like, you can't sit on them forever. They're going to fucking go bad, too.
No,
they do have a life expectancy. Our books, our crowdfunding book, they have a life expectancy. You want to get them out there. You want people to read them. You want people to tell you I love them. I fucking hate it. They have to get out there. They are tangible.
This was an expensive proposition. Let me tell you what, guys. You want to do a hardback foil stamped and embossed book like this is expensive. I was able to move a lot of these through Diamond. Now I priced it in a way that I was able to still, like, it made a dent, I guess is what I'm getting at, because it's priced high enough. It's not a cheap book. It's $35. So
that's pretty affordable, man. It's like for the leather bound,
Well, it's getting up there. It's not a thick book though. It's not like 200 pages. That's the problem. It's only like 40 pages, but it's a
Cool,
I
though.
mean, I tried to make it as nice and as high quality as possible, and I cannot tell you how happy I am with how it turned out. But no, I mean, this thing's getting out
Yes.
there, and people are reading it. They're like, "Who the heck is Diane?" And they're being introduced to her, and it's opening them up to this
Like,
whole.
I'm just telling you, dude.
world.
Like, if I show my daughter that book, she'd fucking love it. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
really?
all this, yeah. Like, you know, she's grown up, but I mean, she would think it's cool. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
like
I
it's
mean,
just cool, dude. Like all the
it's
stuff. You know what I mean?
it is
Like,
kind of feminine, I guess. I mean, it is a diary.
well,
It
she's
is
a
like,
badass, dude.
Yeah.
She's like Celine from Underworld. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she's not, but she's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, action horror is my favorite genre. You know, like, unapologetically, I love action horror. We don't have that much of it, but your book does have fucking action horror in it. You know?
Yeah,
So
this was the image that was in the Diaz brothers CG Vacation.
oh yeah, CG Vacation.
Yeah, I did this for them, and of course I told them, I was like, I got to put this in one of my books as well. And they're like, of
Oh,
course,
yeah, for sure.
it's your art.
Yeah.
So yeah, that appeared in CG, and
Love those guys.
And then they're great. And then this is in John Malin's supplemental, his Visions 2 supplemental that's shipping with Godlike.
That's
so
cool.
when Godlike goes out, this image will be in his Visions.
I seen your engine stuff for that book too. That
yeah, I can't wait to see that printed.
Yeah, I got that shit coming too.
His colors did a great job on that, and that was a fun gig. It was fun working for John. Like,
it looked very Murph style. You know what I mean? Like very Murph metal, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what he wanted.
Like
he's like, you're the horse man, you're the history man. This is a Western. You're the guy for this job. I was like, okay, 100%. Let's do it, man. But yeah, John's great. He's great to work for. I mean, I was very happy with that whole experience. It was, it was better than working for a publisher, and like it was great. I hope he uses me again on stuff, but there's only so much time, and that's the issue. You got obligated to get this
back to
done.
the party. Yeah,
right. And I told the backers when I took that gig, I said, I'm taking this gig for several reasons. Number one, it's a great opportunity, and I'm honored he asked me to do it. But number two, it's exposure.
Yeah.
It's exposing me as an artist to John's readers who may not even know this exists. So
not only that, people forget about you. You know what I mean? They'll forget. Yeah. You have to constantly be out there. You know what I mean? It's just a human mind.
Well, and even after doing this for 3 years, man, there's still people in this community who've never even heard of the book.
Yeah.
I'm
tonight,
like, really? I've been on a gazillion shows.
Yeah. And it's like, you have to go on shows, dude. Like, I don't care how big or small you are. You have to get out there. You got to get your boots. You have to go on the small shows and you try to get on the big shows. You have to get on as many shows as possible, like once a year. Keep your relevancy and your book, your work deserves it,
Thanks. I appreciate it.
So, but can we check the trailer out real quick?
Of course.
Fuck yeah. I think this is the one that I seen earlier. You guys check this out. It's awesome.
Everything changed when war reached the Americas. Caught between the French and the British, my family paid the price. Only my darling Sarah survived. They took her away. We couldn't save them, but we will save her. 5 men against thousands, how can it be done? We are not merely men. War has brought out the beast in us all. And we will have our vengeance, for we are the War Party.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's been a long road.
I want to show some of the artwork right here, guys. Like, check out this badass fucking werewolf just tearing up this fort right here. You know?
Yeah, that was fun to draw because I was like, how can I make it look like a cannon fired in midair? And
Yeah.
that was the animator in me going, well, if this was a movie, I could just animate it. But since it's still pictures, I was like, well, I'll just put the the cannon's tipping, but you've got the blast like right behind it. I don't know. It was one of those things. I was like, I gotta find a way to make that look like, it happened in space. It's always fun. That's a double page spread, actually.
Well, it's always fun, right? Like working it out, you know what I mean? And like doing all that in one single image.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite scenes. Is that I was very happy with the way that turned out. And of course, my colorist, he's so good with fire. He always I just love the way he lights fire.
Yeah, it looks good. All the glows, and nothing suffers from it. It's another badass piece right here. The cover.
I also love, like, I've always been a fan of, when things in the foreground, when you'll color it almost monochromatic. Like how he did it all in purple.
The holds.
Yeah. Just, to me, I don't know, that was a very successful image. It was, sometimes things just click and they work, and you don't know why. The composition worked, the color worked, everything, the storytelling, Diane sort of in the middle of the transformation symbol, which is funny because if you look at that symbol she's standing on, that's what this is.
Oh, nice.
I'll get the one that doesn't have the embossed is that symbol.
That's cool.
That is the Native American symbol for transformation.
Yeah, man. He's saying it shows two different moments in time in one image.
Yeah. I think he's talking about the cannon.
Yeah, the cannon fire.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
And of course, Michael Golden did do one of the variant covers. This one with the eagle on it. So my idol, Michael Golden, my favorite comic artist, I actually was able to commission him to do.
Isn't that cool? I hit up one of my favorite artists too for like a cover just to see how much he costs. I'm like, oh, okay. I got a little bit of ways before I can get to that.
They're not cheap. Yeah.
But he's down. So I'm just like, all right, that's
awesome.
Cool. At least I know,
I know everybody these days is getting a Dale Keown cover, and I kind of know what Dale gets for those covers, and you got to have a pretty successful campaign to be.
Yeah.
But it's.
I love me some Dale too.
Yeah, he's awesome, amazing artist. He's on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's so awesome, man.
Now that it's funny because you see the little color boxes there. That's actually a pre-press image. That's what the printer gets. Yeah,
right?
They trim that off, and those are the crop lines or the bleed lines that you deliver to the printer.
I'd love to see this in the movie, man. Like the first 3 issues. Like, I mean, I know we're waiting. I know I'm waiting to read 4 and 5. I have them. Probably gonna just read those 2 and then wait for 6 and do a review on that one because it's gonna be so fucking big. That's dope. I love the werewolf right here too. Love that.
Yeah, a lot of people like that image as well. That's another double page spread. But I've had a lot of people say they really. I think because you're on his perspective, he's right.
It's a weird perspective for a werewolf, dude. Like the way that you have on his eye. I haven't seen that in comics really too many times that I can think of. Just where the eye's at and everything looks really cool. Something different, Yeah,
I mean, a lot of it's my colorist is really good. I mean, he's worked with for IDW and Marvel for years. He did G.I. Joe for a long time.
That's awesome.
And he's just total pro.
I love that's at night too, though, man, and you can just see everything.
Yeah.
Love this. Nice collage piece.
Yeah, I was just trying to show examples. This was early on in the campaign when I needed to show samples of pages, sequentials.
Yeah.
Because when people just see pinups and covers, they're like, well, what do sequentials look like? So you kind of need to throw some stuff in there without spoiling the story.
You got James right there, the werewolf. That's badass, man.
Yeah, those
love that wolf.
Those have like 28 points of articulation, those figures. They're really cool. The head turns, the hands, everything. You can pose them however you want. But yeah, I'm finishing up the last batch of those now. They take a while. See, all this stuff slows you down, though.
For sure.
Keep in mind.
People got to be on
every time I add something, that's more work and cost. And you got to realize that, there's a trade-off there, definitely.
And there's more stuff to get. Like, you got this cool box right here. Right. You guys can put your books in. The diary. Like, I've got a lot of his stuff, too. Like, we're going to go through it. And I haven't even got all of Murph's stuff yet. And I'm, you know what I mean? So, like, it's an amorphous, like, organic campaign that's alive. You guys can still be picking up stuff. So there's plenty of stuff to still get.
That's going to ship last, the slipcase, because it has to be
right.
measured exactly to fit the book. So until all the books are printed, they can't make it. So
okay. That makes sense.
So out last with the last issue.
I love the eagle, man. There's something about it's the fucking arms. The arms that you did. Yeah, like they're kind of skinny up at the like lean in the top. Or I don't know if it's an eagle or a hawk, but
the eagle, He's that's lanky.
No, I like that, man. Like that's cool. I like the arms. I love this cover though. Like this is like the first. I think this is the first image I ever seen of War Party. I was just like, ooh, what's this, man? Like I like this art. Reminds me of like your inspirations, of that era, 70s and 80s. But
there's your eagle guy up in the sky getting blasted. I mean, he's not getting killed or anything, don't worry. But and that's just a massive battle scene right there. This is issue 5.
No, I want to see it. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I do got the handbook, and then I love this one right here. Like we were talking about it earlier a few times, but we're gonna show it again. The transformational ritual.
Yeah, it's a process because I was trying to break it down. I was like, well, first she's got to find out what your totem is, and then you got to go get the pelt, or you got to make one if it doesn't exist. You got to go kill the animal.
Did you ever think about doing a board game for this?
Actually, my son is like, this needs to be a video game.
Yeah, video game for sure.
The problem is I don't have $200 million to make it.
Yeah,
gosh, if I had that much money, I'd make a movie or a TV series where I made a video game. But yeah, he's like, this would be a great video game because Diane could be like your guide throughout the game. Like you don't play Diane, but you play the different characters, and as you advance, you can unlock new totems. He's already got like the
like mapped
laid
out
in his head. Yeah, and he's like, you could find like there could be like real rare totems that get unlocked as you get further in the game, and you're fighting the French and the English out in the woods and the wilderness and stuff. And I was like, oh, that sounds actually kind of fun.
Sounds pretty dope.
Yeah,
I think also too, man, would be cool if you had like the D&D cards, with the power scales in the back. And also maybe just straight up like Rampart Press, War Party, like just straight up old school like 90s cards with your like universe's action power grid. Like the D&D one's different than like say if you were to do your own power scale in the back.
Well, speaking of cards, I mean this isn't a game, but it's kind of what you're talking about.
That's it.
I have a 20 card set that's an add-on.
Oh, okay.
But on the back, it does have what you're talking about.
Oh, so you already have it. Okay.
It has the power rankings. For in his totem, it also
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, his background and everything, and then what he is. But then the rest of the card set are actually all the stills with a brief portion of the diary entry from the book, from the War Diary. So all the images in the War Diary are in this, as well as the monsters. So that's how I got 20 cards in the set.
That's so awesome, man. Yeah. I got to get those. Like Keith says, like a card game would suit this. I think it's just like, I don't know, man. It's one of those cool like books. Like it's just got everything going for it. It's got like the backdrop of like the French Indian War, which fucking nobody uses that. It's totally like an original time period from the get.
Definitely hit on something that isn't talked about, which I was like, yes.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. Like, and that like I'd love to see that in a movie, man. And then just the way the all the different werebeasts that you have, like it's.
Well,
really
and it's
cool.
an endless world. It's not just werewolves. That's what's fun about it is I can do, as you see, any creature
all the beasts. Yeah,
within reason. I mean, I wouldn't do like I wouldn't do like King Shark or any, like a were. I try to stay away from, other than maybe the gator. I try to stay away from aquatic things. They tend to be things that fly or run around on land, or at least breathe air.
That would be fun though. Like just doing shit that's like like the hard ones, Because some of them are hard, I could imagine,
Yeah, well, like I'm like I got to do a rhino, but there are no rhinos in America, so I try to keep it whatever.
You got to keep it Yeah, and Diane's story for now,
in,
right?
Right, grounded in North American, because she has to be able to get the pelt, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if she can't get a hold of the pelt that made of the actual DNA of the creature, she can't transform you. Like the pelt is your connective. It's what makes the magic. Her blood, obviously, it's all in there.
Gotta have the rules, right?
Right. Because I mean, the pelt has to merge with your body, and the pelt is also what keeps you from becoming that beast. If you don't separate yourself from it, you will become it. And that's as far as I'm going to go with that. You'll follow the story after that. But, yeah, it's so all those creatures you see in that image there are all native to North America. You know, like the ram and the badger and all these other things.
So cool, man. I like this piece right here.
Yeah, a lot of people like that. That's a lot of people's favorite cover, actually.
Like, and you have posters too, huh?
Yeah, and I regret it.
I bet. Like, well, I mean,
the problem is
it's a bitch, man. The tubes.
Right. Yeah, when you have to ship those tubes, you're either faced with, okay, I either have to ship the tubes separately and pay twice shipping, or I have to put everything in this massive box.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did I do this? You know, because I don't fold them, I roll them.
Yeah.
And they're you know, I'll probably never do posters again, to be honest with you. It's just not worth the expense. You learn these things in time that some things just don't. Like, I don't do shirts. I know a lot of people do shirts, but I've done shirts in the past. I hate dealing with sizes. Like, who gets an extra large? Who gets a small? And I just
hard.
like, I'm not doing that this time. So there's no apparel. You know, I mean, it's pretty sad when I would rather make a custom hand-painted action figure than deal with shirts and hats.
Well, you know, you could do it just on your like, maybe one day you can open up like a, I don't know, something, you know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna lie, dude, I'd rock a fucking War Party shirt.
Yeah, I don't have anything against shirts. I just, in the past,
dude.
You know, you ship it out and someone's, I ordered an extra large, you sent me a 2X.
Oh, yeah,
I ordered a medium, you sent me a large. And it's just like...
Like, you know, like the Teespring stores?
Weight, you know
what I mean? Like the Teespring stores and whatnot, you know, maybe later down the line. Like, imagine just like a black shirt with the white War Party logo with the head of like the werewolf, you know, or Diane's head, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another thing. I haven't been able to think
really
of
cool,
what
dude.
would look good on a shirt. I'm like,
it's real simple, like that, like just the logo with their head, the pelt, you know what I mean? Like, and you have, you know, maybe a couple different ones. Like, dude, people would fucking love that shit. Plus, it's marketing too. So people are like on streams wearing it or walking around, you know, what the fuck's War Party?
I've noticed
you know what I mean?
A lot. Yeah, people have the Ripperverse hats on, or you know, and you see it and you're like, oh man, he's getting additional advertising every time someone wears that.
No, and I wear,
stream.
Dude, I got like at least maybe like 7 like campaign shirts that I wear everywhere. I get people asking, what's that, dude? You know, I got Merry Boys and, you know, what is it? Terror in the Trenches, King Cryptid, Blood Realm, fucking bunch of shit, dude. And I'm proud to wear it, you know.
Well, and you were one of my earliest backers. I remember, like, I think you backed this like really early on. From what I remember, it was a while ago. I mean, it was definitely in the first year. I think it was like in 2020 or maybe early 2021 that you backed. Because I remember seeing you on a stream. You were talking about Butch Cleaver.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because I had backed Butch Cleaver right.
I remember,
time. And yeah, I was just so it's cool to talk to people that have sort of been there from the beginning. Because, you know, some people it was a harder sell. They're like, who is this guy? You know, what is this about? And, you know, can I trust him? Or, is this going to be quality? Or can I trust what I'm seeing? Is the book going to really be good? And, you know, some of you guys just came on, like, right away. Like, another one was Von Klaus.
Oh, yeah, Von.
Terror in the Trench. He backed me, like, almost, like, week 1. And I didn't even know who he was at the time.
Yeah, Von's awesome.
It wasn't until later that I heard that I had ordered Monster MD. And I was like, wait a minute, why does that name sound familiar? And I went back to my backer list, and I was like, he backed my book. Like,
he's one of those cats, dude. Like you and him, like you know, Eric Weathers. There's a couple of cats that have just been, you know. Well, I mean, Eric's one of the forefathers of like CG and shit.
I remember Eric from a big when he first talked about
Jawbreaker, letter and Jawbreakers and shit.
Yeah, or even Battlebrick Road.
Battlebrick Road and Flying Fortress. He had a World War book. Oh man, the fucking book's dope.
Yeah, I was following all these guys going back to 2018. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
crazy.
It's been a while. Yeah.
It's been a long ass time.
Yeah. And I honestly, I only launched when I did because of the election, because I was like, I was really concerned about the economy going south.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really wish I had another issue done before I launched. But the election was looming, and I had a bad feeling, and I was like, okay, I need to do this now.
It was a good call, man. I think everything you've done is I mean, it's been the right move. You've done everything. You know what I mean? Obviously, you would probably go back and do things differently. But for me, as like a guy, like damn, like sitting on the sidelines, like damn, everything it's cool. Like you're building your brand. You got product.
It's been a weird experience because, like, if you look at my campaign, when it closed, it was only at $14,000.
Yeah, yeah. And then you decided, like, I'm gonna do something here.
Yeah,
and then you started.
I'm gonna use the advantage called in demand and see what we can accomplish. And as you see, over 70 grand later.
Yeah,
I mean,
no one ever did that but you. You know what I mean?
And over 2,200 backers.
Yeah.
This is the difference between why I think Kickstarter is a flawed platform, because as soon as your campaign closes, you're done. That's it. You can't earn another cent. It's over. And the in-demand function, and I mean, we all have our issues with Indiegogo, me included, because I have been shadow banned, by the way.
Yeah.
But the in-demand function is the only reason why I've been able to grow this thing and add what I've been able to add, because it's allowed the thing to keep growing. And I think that's a big flaw in the crowdfunding platforms that don't let you do that, because look at what I would have missed out on.
Well, 100%. Like I got a lot of people telling me, because I closed down my Butch Cleaver 2 campaign, and I had it in demand for a while, and then I closed it out, and I got like a lot of backers towards the end, and there, a lot of people were telling me you should go on to Fund My Comic, and you can have like a pretty much a store just like this. You can do whatever the fuck you want,
Right. Well,
so I know a lot of people are on
Fund
there.
My Comic, they cut or like deposit the money. I don't know if it's every week or every month. Like they don't make you wait once a month or at the end of the month to
you can do whenever you want. You can set it up however you could. It's just like the options are like almost. I know the options are limitless, but I mean it's like dude, they give you so many fucking options, dude. Like literally, and it's Luke Stone, so you can like hit him up.
Luke's a good guy. Luke actually lives in my hometown of Jacksonville. So
that's cool.
Yeah, we're both from the same place, same city. But yeah,
so I'm launching my next book on there for sure. My next book, Hell War, and then I've been thinking about doing a fucking a Butch Cleaver, like maybe a second chance on there, just so people can have it. Like you can turn it into a store. Like I know another guy launched a book, and he just straight up made it a store, a launch from the get. It's a store, Oh
yeah,
I'm like that's fucking cool. Dope, dude. Totally. Forest Publishing, Richard Embry, he's got a book called Blood and the Sword. It's $5. I still got to go get it. I mean, I'm gonna get it. It's $5. Nice. And it's a store, dude. And that's smart. You get in there, make it a store, $5. Yeah. There's no reason for no one not to pick it up. Like, oh, fucking sword and sorcery. I mean, there's just so much or fancy. There's so much like stuff you could do with that.
Yeah, so. and use it all. I mean, like I said, they're in comic book stores. They're on my website. They're on Amazon. They're on crowdfunding. Get it out there. This is one of many outlets, but you can't just rely on this one thing to sell your book, because you're only going to get the people that go to this site. You're not going to get you're missing out on readers. So I try to get it in every. I mean, like I said, they're on Amazon right now. The existing issues. They're in bookstores right now. You can get them on my website, or you can get them at Indiegogo. They're even in Walmart, not in the stores, but on their website.
Online.
And I don't know how the heck that happened.
I got there though, huh?
Issue 2 is going signed issue 2. If you look it up on Walmart's website, it was going for like $47.
Oh shit!
I'm like, who's pricing?
Someone's doing it, huh?
Like, where's this coming from?
This guy Keith in Comics was saying, "Do you know why you've been shadow banned?"
No, because they won't tell you. But it happened when I had uploaded some sample pages, and apparently I didn't make sure there was no gore on some of them, and I think one of the pages had a really gory image, and my only guess is that they saw that and that's what caused it. The problem is I took the images off, and there's no recourse. You can't get unbanned. Once they hide your campaign, if you type War Party right now on their search function and you don't have this link, this page will not come up at all. So what I ended up doing was I created a second page called an add-ons campaign, and it raised like $1,500, and I put a link to this page in the description of that page. That's how I got around Indiegogo shadow ban. So now when you type War Party, my add-on page comes up. Then it says want the whole series. You click on it, it takes you here. So I kind of went around their rules, but it's really lame how you can fix the problem, and there's no way to, like, it's like there's no forgiveness. Like, just
I think a lot of things happened too over like the last 3 years with them. Like I think that they had some people working there, and then they fired some people that were doing the comics division.
They did.
Now they don't give a fuck. And I think it's a multitude of things, and I think that the site is fucking old, and like it just has all these problems. It's real clunky because you have like things that are like trending, like #1, and they're like closed, like campaigns.
But it used to
there's a multitude of things that are wrong with it. It's not just like the blue-haired, bitch in there, like one of them doing stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
I have noticed they've hidden the most successful campaigns, which is really bizarre. This used to sit on page. My campaign would come up on the first or second page. I'm not kidding, for like 2 years straight.
Yeah.
And you know what I was next to? Cyberfrog. Godlike. Starlight Cats. I was sitting next to all the biggest books.
Yeah.
Now when you go there, none of those show up.
Nothing's there. And like
doesn't show
the rep
up.
is gone too. Like Ethan's rep's gone. Like they're not there anymore. You know what I mean? Like
it's a bunch of books that have raised $1,500 or $2,000. It's books that should not be on the front page. They're not trending.
Or closed campaigns. Just straight up closed campaigns are on there.
It's bizarre, and it makes no sense. So my goal is I'm determined to hit 6 figures before I close this thing.
No, you will.
I want to hit $100,000 to say I had a $100,000 campaign. My first campaign for a comic book was $100,000. I'm determined. I'm only, 12,000 away? It can be done. So
that can be done.
It can be done. I mean, right now, obviously, I'm just trying to hit 90 so I can do the gatefold.
No, you'll do it. Like there's ways you could do it. Like I know a couple ways you could do it, and like it should be done. And it will be done. I know that'll happen for sure.
But I'm not so sure I'll come back to them after this. Like, I think I might be done with Indiegogo after this.
Yeah, I'd probably hit up Luke. I think that'd be pretty cool. That's what I'm gonna do going forward. And for my comic, man, I think that's. But while we are here, man, I'd like to look at some of the tiers since you're up here right now. We got to get this baby to 100. Right here, you got the 6 issues autographed, complete set, $25 featured tier.
Yeah, that's the basic, and that's you get all 6 issues. You don't get issue 0, but what happens is when you go to checkout, if you want issue 0 or the handbook, they're add-ons, so they will ship with it.
So ballpark, how many pages are each issue?
Anywhere from 22 to 32 pages of story. So roughly, when it's all said and done, issues 1 through 6 will be over 160 pages of story. And then if you guys are getting to it, you're getting almost 200 pages of story.
So for $25 plus shipping, guys, you're going to get that many pages of story. You know what I mean? Minus the 0 with that type of art, and it's very well written. It's one of the best crowdfunding comics I've ever read. So just letting you guys know. So just to get in there on that featured tier. Then you have legendary.
I got a lot of criticism too when I first launched it from people who didn't know me.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of criticism, and it was on I think Leroy's channel or Rob's channel, and they're like, "Why is he giving 6 issues for $25? This is suspect. This is too cheap. This is too." I mean, I'm not kidding. I had to make a video to convince people that no, you are going to get this. I am offering it for this amount of money because I did not want to charge more than what you'd pay in a comic book store. I wanted to charge the same amount of money basically that you get in a comic book store, and they just thought that was insane. And I mean, not so much anymore, but this was back when like you would pay $25 for a 22-page or a 30-page comic book, and that's all. You get, So
And now you got the complete variant set right here for $50. So this is going to be worth some money someday. I can tell you that much, guys.
Variants. These are the variants. There's the werewolf one. There's another werewolf one. There's the jaguar one.
That's dope.
There's the gator one. There's the bear one.
Nice.
And then the Michael Golden eagle. So that's all five.
Yeah. Let's see here. I suspect that slowly but surely the Marxists are infecting IGG. Yeah, I think they've been in there for a while. Ever since like the reps left, there's probably like one or two in there, and they just like randomly kind of do shit because they're bored, like some Greek gods or something.
Well, plus
and then you have the
heard
system all fucked up too.
Comics don't make them that much money.
No, they make the
they
scooters
really
and stuff.
don't want. I don't think they even really care if comic books are even on their platform anymore. To be honest,
they just kind of go in there and do a little jabby, stabby randomly. Like I said, like some Greek gods. You know what I mean? And they're just like, fuck this campaign. Or someone will bitch about something, about a campaign, like there's blood or gore or boobs or something. Then they'll answer like, okay, and then they'll fucking do something just randomly because that's their job. You know what I mean?
Because they have tech things on there making millions. I mean,
yeah.
Even a comic campaign that does $200,000 is not that much money for them.
No, it's just random. Like they don't give a fuck. No one cares. I think it really boils down to just look at the trending page. You know what I mean? If you see that, everything's just randomly fucked up over there. You know, it's just no one cares. But right here we got the Michael Golden cover. That all of his were variants that you showed me.
No, they're all. I did all the variants, but the eagle one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of them's his. The other four are mine. That's a little. I know that's a little confusing. That thumbnail. Once again, live and learn. Because I've had a lot of people go, "Do you just get one cover?" No. There's 6. There's 5 covers.
That's awesome. You got the werewolf premium action figure, $375 plus shipping worldwide. There's already 5 gone. They're all custom handmade by Professor Murph here.
12 inches tall.
And again, real quick, just to take a gander at that. Look at that badass beast. I want one really bad.
Actually, if you hold on 1 second, I can go grab the work in progress. I'll be right back.
Nice. Hey, what's up, Apex? How you doing, brother? I love that Executioner character, man. It's fucking metal. Badass design, dude.
He doesn't have his hands on him yet.
All right, whoops. Sorry. There we go. Oh, wow, that's fucking dope, dude. Oh, my God.
He's fully articulated.
Oh, man. It's so cool.
I gotta add his feet, but I mean you can, and see all this hair is hand. I had to glue this hair on by hand, so you'll get a hair repair kit because he does shed. Painted this, but what was cool is when I painted the teeth and everything, I glazed it so it still looks like it's wet.
Yeah.
Like on the teeth and everything. So
that's so awesome.
It's pretty cool. But yeah, these are gonna be nice. But they each come with a certificate. They're numbered and signed and everything. So it's like 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, 4 of 10, so on.
Yeah.
But I know he's pricey. I mean, he's not cheap.
Oh. Let's see here.
What's up, Apex?
Let's see Apex. Yeah, a cool Executioner comic. Sorry, let me go back here. I'm back to the campaign real quick. All right, so yeah, there's the wolf right there, James. And then going down right here, we have some original art. Retail cover for $800.
Yeah, that's the only original piece left. I sold all the rest.
Damn, that's cool, man.
I mean, there's not a lot of original art because I work digitally, but there are a few covers that I did traditionally so that I could sell them.
That's smart. Yeah, you should do that, man. And if they don't sell it, then you have that traditional piece that can go over your mantle.
They sell eventually. They always do.
Yeah, they do. Man, I put one on there like just for random, and like someone bought it. I put it on an expensive price too because like I didn't want to sell it. Someone bought it, and I was like, oh fuck it.
Yeah.
I did
No.
2 pieces that I didn't want to sell, like at a price I thought was too much, and people bought it. You got to have original art.
Oh, totally.
War Party for life. So that's the $1,000 tier. You pretty much
That's everything forever. So every campaign I ever do, you get everything but figures. Figures the only thing I don't, and original art. Original art and figures, no. Everything else I ever do for War Party for $1,000, it's yours for life. I have 2 guys actually won that I did like a draw, like a spinner one night, just 2 giveaways, and they won it, and they'll never have to back anything ever again.
That's awesome.
Yeah. As long as I'm making War Party, they get it.
And these are all sold out. Preston
yeah.
Azevedo cards.
Yeah,
my boy Preston. Well, Preston's been on the Horror Movie Club a lot lately. And me and him do a show on. Me and him do a show on Monday nights. We do a heavy metal. We do the metal shop on his channel.
Yeah,
where we talk about metal album art, just for fun. And yeah, man, he dropped a thing about his Nine Devils book. The first 2 pages of the book. It's in hell.
He's prolific. He gets a lot of work done.
He's in my top 3 favorite artists.
He's good.
Yeah, he's inspiration to me. And going down right here, and he's a homie too. It's kind of weird. But yeah, man, all these are already sold out, man. All these Diane figures. You guys got to come.
If you scroll all the way down on the main campaign, it'll show you what you get delivery-wise when you order. So just keep going all the way down. Like all the way down. There you go. So, the delivery schedule. Everything under immediately you get now. Like if you order it. So in other words, you get the first 5 issues.
Sweet.
You get the handbook if you order it. You get 0 if you order it. You get the war diary if you order it. All of that.
Lots of goodies, guys.
Yeah. So when you go down, the only things that will not be delivered immediately is issue 6 and the slipcase for those that order the slipcase. Those ship last.
Man, that slipcase is badass, man.
Yeah.
Did you? I mean, those colors look. Man, those are awesome colors on there.
I actually painted that. That's actually a digital painting. So that's
yeah, I was about to say it looks a lot different. The painting.
That's just me. That's just my art.
Damn, dude, I love that wolf on there. Fuck.
Yeah, thanks.
That would be an awesome shirt, dude. Like legit.
Yeah, that'd be expensive one to print, I guess. But yeah, it'd look good.
Black.
So that's kind of to clear it up for people. So when they see this and they're like, why wasn't issue 6 in my order? Well, because it's not done
yet. Make it real
yet.
simple.
So, yeah, so
real simple for you guys. There it is, which you can get now, which is fucking awesome. There's a lot of goodies on here, guys. And then the diary, the war diary, is there? That's on checkout, right? You just add that on.
Yes, I believe I have to go back and check. I can't remember if that one is an add-on or if it's just a secret perk. Because what I've been doing is when someone backs, I send them an email, and if it's a secret perk, they'll get a link to it if they want to order it. But that's a good question because that's the only one I can't remember if I included it as an add-on. But now that you've mentioned it, I'll probably go back and check and see if I did. Because if I didn't, I'll probably go ahead and throw it on there. I mean, it's a pricey add-on because it's even more than the books. It's like
maybe like a tier. Maybe it's on tier if you like maybe a limited tier.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I didn't do it that way is because it's not something that I would want someone to buy as a standalone. In other words, if you didn't buy the series, I wouldn't necessarily want you to just buy the word. You know what I mean? Like, it's not meant to be read in a vacuum. It's meant to be a companion to the series. Yeah,
so it's a diary to go along with the person.
It wouldn't really make sense to just sell it by itself.
That makes sense. It is cool though, man. It's got that cool factor. I know, but it kind of takes them out of the story though.
I thought I had shipped it to you. I mean, I thought you had ordered that.
No, I didn't order it.
Okay,
but I want to get it. It's fucking dope.
When you had mentioned you were having me on, I made sure to get you your issue 5. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe
I got 4 and 5 for sure.
Okay, you did. Okay.
Yeah,
because I knew I shipped you. I knew I had shipped you something, and I just couldn't remember. But
I gotta ask you though, man. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Aliens.
Really? Just damn. Most people have trouble with that, man. This is my 50th
No.
show, and like they usually have to pick 3
I
movies or
have to
something.
be honest. I've watched it more. I mean, if I had like a top 5, it would be Aliens, Amadeus. I mean, Shawshank Redemption always makes it in there. That's a great.
It's a good
movie.
one.
Braveheart is one of my
Braveheart's
favorites.
awesome. Yeah.
I love First Blood, the very first Rambo. Forget the sequels.
Oh yeah.
Just First Blood.
I'm a Rambo stan, so I like them all. But
phenomenal movie.
that
the
first one's
one.
like
Yes,
next level shit.
God, I
for
love
different
it.
reasons.
The other ones are more like cartoon, comic book hero.
Yeah,
First Blood feels real and visceral, and just like when they're hunting him in the woods and he's setting traps. I love.
Picks
that
up
movie.
that later, Keith. Thank you.
See you, man.
Picks up the little like cloth that they found on the set and puts it on, or
But it is crazy because you think, it's got to be something like a big drama. And like, no, Aliens,
Blade Runner.
I think, is my favorite freaking movie. I'm not kidding, because the music, the story, the action, the effects, the actors, the performances, the directing, I can't find anything wrong with that movie. And I've seen it 100 times. I mean, it's an effect that I actually made.
Oh wow!
It's I had bought the NECA figures.
That's dope. It's like a diorama kind
of. And put lighting in it. Painted LV 426 the background, and then
that's awesome, man.
Put all the Marines. There's Ripley. There's the Queen.
So how do you feel about Predator?
I like it. I mean, I think it's a good
first one.
I mean, I enjoy it. I don't put it in Aliens class, but it's an enjoyable movie. I mean, I like it. It's fun testosterone film.
Sci-fi action.
Great 80s classic. Aliens just on another level, though, because I think the story... I love the story of her trying to... it's the same thing I'm doing with War Party. She's trying to save a little girl.
Yeah.
Like, that's all she's doing. Like, in that movie, she's determined to get Newt back.
That ending scene is epic, too, with the like... there wasn't nothing like that, you know what I mean? Prior.
So good, man. Yeah. And if you've ever seen Amadeus, it's a movie about
Mozart, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
seen that back in the day.
Yeah, that's a
was it Ian or Tim Holmes, I think? Tim Holmes?
Tom Hulce.
Tom Hulce, yeah. The Hunchback of Notre Dame voice, right?
And of course, I mean, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy is
solid movie.
Some of the best thing I've ever seen. As a matter of fact, to me, that's kind of was the end of the era of great films, were those movies. I feel like there are some good movies being made still, but I feel like the early 2000s, it was like the swan song of great Hollywood movies, and it's never really been that way again. No.
Kind of like the music too, a little bit. Like music, I think, kind of died out right before that.
The turn of the millennium changed things, and it never really got back on track. And it's we didn't realize it at the time, but looking back, it's rare now that I see a movie that actually just impacts me, where I'm like, wow. Like, I remember Joker was a surprise. I liked Dune. I enjoyed Dune a lot.
I started watching that like probably a few months ago, and I was like, okay, I can get in this.
It was I love the atmosphere in it. I thought they did a good job with that. And I just saw recently a Gran Turismo, and it is excellent.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's really, really good.
Well, I saw they had Hellboy and Legolas in there, so I was like, all right, I'll go check it out.
It's good. So I mean, they're still making good movies. It's not like everything's crap.
There's some good stuff, but there's a few visionaries out there. But not as much.
God, I mean, you go back to the 80s. Like, I showed my son
just gushing
a list of movies that just came out like in 1984.
Like on weekends, you'd have like a lineup. Like this weekend's, it's like The Thing. Aliens, you're like in one weekend, you know what I'm talking?
Back to the Future, and it was like 5 or 6 classics all coming out in the same summer that people still watch today, and it was the same summer. And you're going, you'd be lucky to have one of these today in a summer, let alone 5 or 6 movies at the same time. Yeah, I mean, it's like Die Hard, like the first Die Hard in '88.
Yeah, that first
like
one.
you mentioned with Predator,
Predator.
or Aliens and Platoon came out
Yeah.
the same year. Freaking Aliens and Platoon in the same year. Like it just, it's hard to fathom now how good movies really were and how spoiled we were growing up
Right.
with films like that. And then, until you look at a lot of the stuff now and you realize, wow, it's really regressed in terms of storytelling. And
One
it's
movie-
not just,
I was gonna say a couple movies. I don't know if you've seen Brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn? That one's really good.
Wait, Vince Vaughn?
Yeah, and I can't stand Vince Vaughn.
Is this
It's
a
an-
comedy or a series?
No, it's a serious fucking like
Never heard of it.
kind of like let's say like 70s style like prison movie. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Hardcore from the director of Bone
Can't
Tomahawk.
picture him being in a
I don't know if
movie
you've seen-
like that.
Have you seen Bone Tomahawk?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, this is his second movie. The
Okay.
director, P.K. Exhaler. So to me, he's a visionary. So that movie is a hard recommend, and Don Johnson's awarded in
All
there,
right,
and he's
I'll
good.
Check it out. Yeah,
So-
I love Bone Tomahawk. That's great.
So you'll probably like this one. I don't like Vince Vaughn, but I like him in this movie. He sold it, and he did another one. The third movie was Dragged Across Concrete with Mel Gibson. That movie was good too. That's from the director of Bone Tomahawk. I recommend that too. But
Yeah.
Brawl and Cell Block 99. So that one, I don't know if you've seen The Northman. I thought that
Oh,
movie
yeah.
was fucking
I saw
awesome.
that in the theater. Yeah.
Me too. I saw it by myself. I was like, I gotta go watch this. So
Yeah.
that one was cool. And then Mandy with Nicolas Cage. That movie's fucking awesome too. I recommend that one by Panos Cosmatos, the director of Rambo 2.
Oh yeah.
Son.
George Cabana and Tombstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tombstone's
those
a
are the
great
only
one.
like 3 movies I could really recommend, and they're like three like visionary. Like I like look for their movies, those directors,
Right.
you know. So
I
don't know.
wish Mel Gibson would make more films because I loved
Oh, yeah.
Apocalypto. Apocalypto is
dude,
outstanding.
he just does all of his movies are just brutal ass like historical movies. He's working on the
Yeah.
Passion of the Christ Part 2 right now.
right.
That's what
I
he's
heard
doing.
about that.
So I'm pumped for that.
But I loved that, and I loved Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge is one of the best
Yeah.
World War II movies I've ever seen. The gore in that, and just like the intensity of the fighting with the Japanese, and the scene at the end. I was like, man, this is intense.
I got to check that out.
he's-
I never seen it.
Dude,
that's the one with
it's-
with Spider-Man in it,
Andrew
right? Garfield.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
I gotta see that.
Phenomenal, dude. Like it is just. It's definitely. I'd say probably one of the top 3 best World War II movies ever made. No joke.
I got to ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so you know what movie most dudes come on the show like? There's like one movie everybody's like, it's like their favorite movie. You know, can you guess what movie it is?
Saving Private Ryan. No. I
Nope.
don't-
Fucking
is it-
Gladiator, bro. It's
Oh,
Gladiator.
Gladiator, of course.
So you're gonna have to pick one movie, and I think I probably know which one you pick. Gladiator or Braveheart? Which one you pick?
I picked Braveheart.
I picked Braveheart too. It's just
Yeah.
way more fucking epic, way more
The-
fuking battle
the problem
sequences.
with I
It's not
love
historically
Ridley-
accurate, but it's fucking
Yeah.
dope, dude.
But it also has an emotional center. The
Mhm.
problem with Ridley Scott, and don't get me wrong, his movies are amazing to look at. I mean,
Yep.
he's so good, and I can't wait to see Napoleon. By the way,
Me
I
too.
wanna see
That's
that
like the
next
one. That
But-
one. Yeah.
But he has his movies don't ever really grab you emotionally. Like even Gladiator, as good as it is, it didn't come close to tearing my heart out the way Braveheart did. Not even
Yep.
close.
Braveheart, like literally, like the
Oh,
scene where his
Braveheart
wife
just,
gets her
like, kills
throat
you,
cut and
dude.
everything,
Yeah,
like
it's
that. It makes you like,
brutal.
it gets me mad when I watch it. Like,
But when
that's
when he's being disemboweled
At the end?
on the table, yeah, and castrated, which they originally showed, by the way, but they cut it to avoid getting an X rating. Because I mean, they're literally castrating him in that scene, and then it's called drawn and quartered, and what that means is when you say what does drawn mean? Drawn is they would gut you and draw your intestines, your entrails out of your body while you're still
Yeah.
alive, and then the quartered was they would cut you into quarter and then hang your body parts on different parts of the, like on the bridge, like they put him on London Bridge and everything.
They mailed them
But,
all over, right?
Yeah, and stuck his head on the
Four
bridge.
spots.
But so it was really brutal. But I actually like that they didn't show it because you didn't need to see it.
Nah, you don't need to see it.
Imagining and Mel Gibson's
And I'm a gore stan.
performance.
Yeah, because
when
it would have took
he's-
you out of it.
Yeah, when he's reacting that way, you're like, oh my god, what are they doing to this man? Like your imagination makes it way worse even than what it is, because you're just
Yeah.
you can't imagine what they're doing to him because they're not showing it, and Mel Gibson sells it But yeah, that movie. That movie.
I gotta
hit
watch that
another
again.
level. Yeah, it's.
I watched the shit out of that movie growing up too. I
So
love that
good.
movie.
Well, the Battle of Sterling, the whole scene with the horses.
So many good battles in there. You know, the dude with the hammer, like with the tomato can. You know, like tomato soup. Like
that was the first time I ever saw
oh my
brutal medieval warfare depicted in a movie to that
and the
level.
sword. I mean, like I never seen a sword like that in like I don't know,
No,
the Claymore. Like,
yeah.
It's like dude, in Butch Cleaver, I have a character that's half Scottish, half Cherokee, and he's like the descendant of William Wallace. Oh, you remember it?
Yeah, I read Butch Cleaver, and it was funny because your art is very heavy metal because it reminded me of growing up in the '80s, and I would draw on my friends' folders. Like
that's what everybody tells me.
Their favorite bands. It totally feels like that type of like visceral, like make it look badass, you know, like in the line art, the way you draw, it's very graphic design almost. Like I don't know, it's unlike anything I've seen. It's very unique, your style. It's a big reason why I backed it because I didn't even know you had backed my book, originally. But I loved the title and I liked the heavy metal edge that it had about it, and I didn't even know who you were at the time, but I just saw you on the stream and I was like, yeah, this looks cool. So, and it's funny because
you're right, man. That's 100%.
It is. I mean, that's why your name fits the whole metal movies and brewskis because it fits your your vibe, your personality. But yeah, I mean those are probably my favorites. I mean there's others obviously, but I mean like I love all the Rocky movies. I'm a huge Stallone fan. I love Stallone.
Me too. Yeah, you watched Tulsa King?
Yeah.
It's pretty. Great. It was all right. It was all right, right?
I liked it. I'm a big Scorsese fan. I love Goodfellas. Goodfellas is one of my favorites.
What's your favorite Scorsese film?
Goodfellas.
I have one. Yeah, Goodfellas. It's hard to beat Goodfellas.
I know.
But there's one that I'll watch.
Gangs in New York, I bet.
Yep, 100%. Bill the Butcher, dude. I mean, and the Priest Vallon. Like, oh man, I love that movie. Yeah, I mean, Brendan Gleeson. I go on. John C. Reilly.
He also, if you've ever seen King of Comedy.
That's like it's funny. Like I never got around to watching that. I know it's like a big inspiration for the Joker. You know,
it's the same movie. It's bizarre. It's just take Robert De Niro and make him Joaquin Phoenix's part, and then Jerry Lewis is the Robert De Niro part in the movie. He's the talk show host. Yeah. And it's almost the same movie. It's bizarre how much like Joker it is.
Oh, man.
You know. But
Joker
it's
was
worth
good.
Watching. Yeah,
it was a solid.
I enjoyed the Batman, the one with Robert Pattinson. I didn't think I would.
I liked it.
I was having a blast watching that movie.
They're gonna make 2 more too.
Yeah, it was, and I really liked Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. I thought she was great.
She was straight out of Year One in there. Like they pretty much nailed her out pretty good.
I was like, and she gave her the right amount of femininity and also like toughness, but she wasn't like overpowered. Like, she was still a woman, but she was interesting. It was and of course, I mean, Colin Farrell was awesome as the Penguin.
He's getting his own TV show for it too. The Penguin's
great. He's great. But
he stole it.
That scene when the Batmobile cranks up, I was sold. Yeah. I was like, this movie is really working, dude.
It's all muscle and like Carrie at the same time.
Yeah. Very nice. It felt like a '70s muscle car.
McQueen.
So there's good stuff out there. I mean, it's not all crap.
No. There's a couple every.
It's just you got to sift through a lot more crap, I think, than we used to.
Yeah.
And there's just formula. So much stuff is so formulaic now that it's just like
even
by Marvel AI and all that stuff. It's all just become the same junk.
That's why you guys got to go back War Party.
Well, yeah, man, support it.
Almost there.
I got big plans. I mean,
you guys seen what's in there? The proof's in the pudding. I have a review of the first 3 issues. If you guys want to go check it out, there's some more art in there, and you guys could, you guys got to get it. If you guys haven't got it, I highly recommend getting it.
Thanks, man. And I mean, it is what is it, 1 o'clock? That's probably my exit.
For sure, man.
But I mean, I appreciate you having me on. And
anytime,
we'll do it again, man. I do draw streams too sometimes, and if you if you're ever hanging out in the draw stream, or hanging out and I'm drawing, and you want to drop in, just just say so in the chat. I'll send you a link and come hang out.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man. Thanks for the invite. I love that. Where can people find you at, brother?
I am Professor Murph on YouTube. Professor Murph on YouTube and Rampart Press, which is my publishing company, on Twitter. So at Rampart Press and Professor Murph on YouTube, and same with Instagram. Not on Facebook. So, but I'm around. I don't stream enough. I need to stream more. My YouTube presence is very limited.
Dude, you were doing some like historical horror stuff like a little bit back, man. That was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, the thing on the on,
history class or something like that, or
Herman Mudgett, yeah.
All that stuff, man. That was fucking badass.
With the castle in Chicago, and then
Holmes
Countess Bathory.
Yeah,
who is the greatest serial killer in history. She killed like 300 or 400 women or something, girls in Romania.
That stuff's awesome, man. People love that. I like,
Yeah, and the Hart brothers too. That's another one that we talked about.
So many.
Yeah, in the 1700s, they were serial killers that ran around during the American Revolution out in the west, not the west, but like over in like Kentucky, Missouri area.
Frontier.
Yeah, and they were just running around wreaking havoc and murdering people all over the place. Even killed his own kids. Like,
oh my God,
they were bad news. Yeah, like bad psychopaths. So they've always been with us. They always will be with us. A lot of them are in office,
Right.
We elect a lot of them.
Hopefully we can get them out.
Representing you in court. Sometimes they're your preacher.
Right.
A lot of times people in positions of power tend to be psychopaths. That's what they
have
narcissistic, psychopathic personalities. So
that's how they get up there.
Beware. But thanks, man. It's been fun.
For sure,
we'll do
man.
it again, okay?
Oh, yeah.
And thanks to chat.
Thanks, guys, and thanks everybody that watched. Go ahead and back the book if you can. It's at the link that pinned at the top. And always remember to be bold, be brave, and roll the bones to know your role. I'll see you guys later.
All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.